Well, we're live. We'll just wait for a few people to show up and see what's what. Let me find out. Uh, Make sure we're live in all the right places. Come on now, people. See if we get some people in here hanging with us. We had a bunch of people sign up, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I let everybody know on my channel that we were going to be over here. Although I didn't specify whether it was Eastern time or Central time. I suppose I probably should have done that.
Well, that's pretty weird because what happens, a lot of people will come in here and they'll come in right at the last minute, when I'm getting ready to leave. And hell, it's not showing up on my page. That's weird. Let me see if it's showing up on the other one. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of pictures. Yeah, it's showing up on the other one. That's weird. Technology. It always takes a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made it. It made it. We got some people coming in there. Thomas Sullivan, Brandon Harrington, KC in the house. What up, Brandon? Oh, I'm in beautiful downtown Nashville, Tennessee, and Tim is in what? Tim, Michigan.
Yep. Yep. I'm in Petoskey, Michigan, just south of the Mackinac Bridge from the Straits of Mackinac.
Oh man, you're way up there. We went up there on
Yeah.
our motorcycles several years ago, and I haven't been back up there since then. It's been a long time since I've been up there.
Yeah. I
You're
like it
way
up here. Well, I'm originally from the UP. I grew up in the Sioux. So, Sioux St. Marie. But,
Bella B, Todd and Alan Moody. Let me turn this sound off here. There we go. What's up, guys? So we do have some people watching, coming in slowly but surely.
yeah.
Um, what we wanted to talk about tonight, and I know we were a couple minutes late, and I apologize, but don't worry, we'll leave early just to make up for that. Uh, what we want to talk about tonight. What we want to talk about tonight, and Tim and I. This is Tim Ringer. He has a podcast also, and he's on Facebook and YouTube just like I am. And I'd seen a couple of his podcasts, and I called him up and asked him to come and join us tonight and hang out with us. So I'm glad he's here. Tim, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Um, a lot of what we want to talk about, or what we're going to talk about tonight, is Anthony Shaggy. What up? What up, Shaggy? Bella Charles Bundy. What up, Charles? I hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're feeling better. Sheridan Group and Page. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. What we wanted to talk about tonight, I had Trucker G on here last week, and he called me up out of the blue, and he said that he Mara the Step Decker. What up? I know where you are and what you're doing. I probably even know what you're wearing at this point. Anyway, what Trucker G was talking about was he had seen. Thank you, Shaggy. I appreciate you, brother. Um, what he had seen was a group on Facebook, and they were boycotting TQL, and he said, man, I think that's unreal. He said, you and Shaggy have been talking about that for 2 years, and I said, yeah, we have. I said, and then finally, somebody caught on because people get mad, especially when freight is like it is now. Everybody gets mad, everybody gets upset, and they want to go on strike, and they want to do this, and they want to do that. Problem is, Tim, they can't get they can't get two people to agree on anything,
Right.
to do anything, to make anything work.
Yeah.
I guess that's just the nature of the business. But and two people, everybody that's on here, I need you to know, whatever I say and what any comment that I have or opinion, it's just my opinion. It's nobody else's. You know, I only speak for myself ever. So, you know, as long as we know that, then you know we're good to go. At least for me. Um, Tim and I were talking earlier, and I support this this strike or this. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for sharing it, bro. I support this boycott 100%, and I hope that this group that started it, and the guy's name is Mike, and you know, Mike's mad. He's mad, and you can tell it when you talk to him. You can tell it when you see him in the videos. You know, Mike's upset, and rightly so. He's pissed off. I hope they stay focused. You know, I hope they keep this thing, you know, right where it is, and stay focused. And I think if they do, you know, I think if everybody stays focused, uh, I think if everybody stays focused, it'll work. You know, I do think that it'll get a lot of attention. I don't know, Tim. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, you need enough people unified in this, right? You can't just have one or two people. Um, I think at last count I saw there was what 20,000.
Yeah, on his page.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Honestly, I don't have a tremendous amount to say about it. I'm not a fan of TQL. Never have been. Um, but they do what they do, you know.
What's the group called? Hold on, and I'll find out for you. Hold on, I'll get it. My bad. I should have done that earlier. They owner operators slash no authority slash new authority. It's a Facebook group, and it's headed up by a guy in New York, and he's a truck driver, and he's got trucks, and he you know he started this thing, got it rolling, and got everything moving, and hi there, and he you know, he's got quite a thing going. He's getting some people's attention, which I think, you know, I think that's a wonderful thing. Uh, and like I said, you know, I hope it works. I hope it's something that they stay focused, and everybody, you know, everybody just stays with it. I hope. So, you know, we'll see. I just I don't think that getting all over the place, and I don't think, uh, yeah, I don't think trying to add all the brokers to it is the right thing to do at this point. And the reason is because, uh, the reason is because it can get too scattered out, you know. And the idea is not to hurt the truck drivers; they're already hurting, you know. And the idea is not to punish us. The idea is to isolate one company that the drivers feel like is taking advantage of people, isolate them, and, you know, put them in the penalty box, if you will, and let all the other brokers out there see that if you start treating people like this, you know, you start taking advantage of the market, and you start taking advantages, you know, of things that this is going to happen, you know, and you can be next. So I hope that, like I said, you know, I hope it gains steam, and I hope they stay focused. What I wanted to talk about tonight, and Tim and I talked about this earlier. Shaggy and I have talked about it 1,000 times for 5 years. I want to talk about how brokers work, because what you see on social media and what actually happens in the real world are two different things. You know, everybody says, well, I got the truck, and I got to buy fuel, and I got to buy tires. All the brokers got is a computer and a phone. Well, The other thing the brokers got is they've got customers. They've got customers. They go out and get customers. Now, TQL calls my office 3 or 4 times a week, and they want to double broker my freight or co-broker it, whatever you want to say. In either case, that's 2 brokers taking a chunk out of your freight. It doesn't need to be there. Okay? And we tell them no, screw you and hang up on them. But
Landstar is another one for that as well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably get 15 calls a day from Landstar.
really, still,
Yeah.
man.
Sometimes I don't even have to have a load posted. They've just got my number.
Oh,
Do you have
geez.
anything?
Yeah, we've got 80,000 trucks. We can move that load for you, and you can keep your rate. You can keep it. And I go, I don't need you. I don't want you.
Right.
So, we've been talking about this for years now, and doing this, but I want to talk about brokers. I wanted you and I to get on here tonight and talk to everybody that will sit there and listen to us, at least, about brokers. I've been a broker for many, many, many years, and I've got customers and I've got carriers. I do not post loads on DAT. It's like I was telling Tim earlier. If I post a load on DAT, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and one of my customers called with some emergency load, and all my trucks are busy. That's the only time. And so I'm not in that game. I don't want to be in that game. I've never wanted to be in that game. So I'm not. I am aware of it. I know how it works. I know what's going on. But I meet with my carriers once a year, usually in November. We figure out our rates, for the year. We go to the customer, we set our rates for the next year, and we haggle back and forth a little bit, and then we lock them in. So our rates stay the same for the whole year. It's good with the carriers. It's good with me. Everybody's happy. I'm not getting on DAT and going, yeah, I got this load. I'll give you $400. I'm not doing that all day, every day. I'm not going to. Okay? And there's a lot of people like me out there that do it that way. Because most of the freight that winds up on DAT is junk freight anyway. It's leftover stuff that nobody could cover. Nobody wants to cover. So
having those solid carrier relationships is much better for you, your customers, and your network of carriers.
Yeah, and honestly, Tim, I don't want to send some carrier I don't know into one of my customers.
Yeah, the load board can be a dangerous place. It seems more and more, as of the last year or so, at least from what I've seen. You just never know. Picked up the load on time, delivered the load on time, may or may not happen. If the customer requests tracking on the, oh yeah, we can do tracking. They'll pick up the load. You send tracking. Oh no, he's on a flip phone. He can't do tracking. Well, and from there on, the whole rest of the load is going to just downhill. Yep.
Yeah, or they pull in there and throw a piss bottle in their parking lot. Or they show up with a dirty trailer, and then 2 guys got to sit there on forklifts and wait for 45 minutes while some pissed off truck driver sweeps his trailer out. Or you get a truck driver that goes in there and he starts yelling and bitching and, raising hell with everybody. And like you said, there's so many ways to fail and piss your customer off. And, so when I hear that all the brokers got is a phone and a computer, that's not true. I mean, and I know some of you are going to get mad to hear that. Get over it, bitch. It's not true. They've got work to do too. Now, does that justify what TQL is doing right now or what Landstar is doing right now? It absolutely does not. It does not.
And forgive my ignorance, but the thing with TQL, this is in regards to rates.
Yeah.
The boycott.
Yeah, they've just pushed the rates through the floor, and it's been going on now for 6 months really. But after the first year, in the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, freight's slow anyway because everybody's shutting down for holidays, everybody's shutting down for this and that, and the economy hasn't started flowing again. And 2, in January, February, and March, there's no produce going. And everybody says, Well, I'm not in the produce business. Yes, you are. And here's why. Because if 100,000 trucks are out there hauling produce, they're not hauling your freight. When they come out of the loop and start hauling produce and stop playing the broker boards and the spot market, because they're in the produce business, so when there's no produce, they play the spot market. That takes 100 150,000 trucks out of the mix. So whether you're in the produce business or not in the produce business, you're in the produce business. Kenny Long. Kenny Long. Man, I haven't seen you in a. I hope you go to Matt's. I want to see you. So, that's what it's about. It's about rates. They've got rates pushed down to the floor. I mean, they're under $1 most places, and nobody can run for that. Nobody can do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a little bit of mixed feeling about that because I realize that I'm sure there's brokers out there, and TQL may very well be one of them, that's kind of taking advantage of the market the way it is and has been for the last, forever how long. But I've also got some of my customers that are trying to drive rates down. I mean, okay, like just for instance, if we look at a particular market rate and it says it's $4,400, they'll send it to me for $3,000, and then I have to try to book a truck and make $1 off of that $3,000. But market is 44. What are my odds of posting that on the board if I, or keeping a regular truck, and so I think my point is the assumption is that automatically that carrier is going to think that I'm keeping $1,400 plus probably on that load, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I even flashed up an example of a rate that a customer in one of my previous shows of a rate that they had sent over to me. It's brokers, it's shippers. I've got some great customers, and I've got some not so great customers.
Same here.
Yeah, the not so great ones, I don't even look at their stuff anymore.
Yeah,
and they'll complain. Why did the truck keep falling off on me? Why do trucks keep falling off on me? Well, because you're paying $1,300 on a $2,100 load. If they find something last minute paying even an extra $100, $200 more, they're probably going to fall off your load.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm lucky. Well, lucky. I don't know how lucky I am, but because I've worked damn hard to do what I'm doing. A trucker's tale. About time you showed up. Mara says, I saw a 48,000 pound load that needed to be tarp posted for 62 cents a mile. Are you kidding me? 62 cents a mile?
Is that in Florida?
No, Mara's been up in the Northeast this week. Way up there. I just, I don't think, I wanted to talk about brokers, and I want to say, that I know some guys around here that I've known for years and years and years, and they are not screwing with people. CJ, what's up? They're not screwing with people, and they haven't been. All the way through COVID and all that stuff, their rates stayed on top, and it stayed the same. And a lot of those guys, you don't see their loads like me. You don't see their loads on DAT or truck stop. They're not there because they build relationships with their carriers. They build relationships with their carriers, and they call them. They know who they're dealing with. They know who they're talking to. I broke down to Salt Lake City with either a cracked fuel line or a bad fuel pump. Damn, man. Too bad you're not around here. I'd send the hook after you. Can't go to Salt Lake. I'm not even sure I could get to Salt Lake. Everybody's still shut down in Wyoming. But I wanted to talk about brokers, and I wanted to talk, I've been doing this. I told Tim this earlier. I've been doing this for years and years and years and years, and never once in all the years I've been doing this have I ever forced a carrier to haul one of my loads. And when I mentioned that to Frank 3, He goes, damn, I wish I could. I'd like to try that. Yeah, turnabout's fair play. But I have never, ever, ever, made anybody haul one of my loads. Doesn't have it. Doesn't have it. So, my girls, when they answer the phone, those rare times that we do post a load, the first thing they say is, what are you going to charge me to move this for me? What's it going to cost me to get this moved? And then the carrier will say a rate. And that's where it starts. If I don't have that much in it, if I can't afford it, I'll tell them that. I'll just say, look, I can't do that. Here's how much I got. You can have it if you want. And that's where we go from there. But Shaggy and I have been telling people for years, when rates were $4 a mile, we told everybody every night, you better be careful. You better keep your rates up, because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. And here it is. Here it is. It's happening. And, a couple years ago, some of these brokers got some of the rates down to around 70, 80 cents a mile. And they put a lot of people out of business. And they made a lot of people mad, and they did a lot of damage. I'm here to tell you something, people. These big box brokers, these big box brokers, they don't care if you stay in business. They don't care. They don't care if you have a family to feed. They don't care if you got a truck to maintain. They don't care. All they care about is, it's just like selling, Tim and I were talking earlier, it's just like selling a pair of tennis shoes. When you go to the shoe store, if they got a pair of tennis shoes sitting up there for $55, take it or leave it. They don't care. The next guy coming along will take it. And what's happening to us in this industry right now is people are hauling these cheap loads on the spot market. They're hauling them. They're picking them up. And they're delivering. And you see it every day. CJ says, I was watching Lowboard yesterday and was watching rates dropping anywhere from $200 to $400. These big brokers, not the small ones, not the little guys. The little guys are like me. They depend on their carriers to make a living. But these big brokers right now are going to push it down, honestly, as far as it can go. Because they're in the business to do one thing, and that is to maximize their profit for their shareholders or their owner. That's the only reason they're there. No other reason. Otherwise, they'd be like me, they'd be fishing. Which I'm not doing enough of. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I wanted to talk about brokers. I wanted to talk about, what we do. The first thing we have to do as a broker is we have to have a customer. We have to go get one. We have to go out and sell to get one. Tim and I were talking earlier, and Shaggy knows our friends over at I've been on a couple of talks with them. eCarrierCheck.com. Those guys are great. Their product is great. I mean, you can use their product, and you can find all the shippers around you, and you can even find out who's hauling their freight. You can find out all that all around you. And the way we used to have to do it before this kind of technology was available was we used to have to get in the car and go up and knock on the door and talk to them, and find this stuff out. Now you can just log on to eCarrierCheck and you can find this stuff, and it's all right there. And you go talk to these shippers direct. And I hear all the excuses in the world. Well, I've only got one truck and they won't talk to me. Yes, they will. They absolutely will. CJ says, I went on the C.H. Robinson board and bid on one. My usual guy was out sick. They countered with a rate less than the book now rate, then changed the book now rate to that countered rate. Yeah, that's their game. Like I said, that's the game. Make as much money as possible. And if they break you, they don't care. They don't care. I can't stay in business like that. I'm a small guy. Tim, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but you can't stay in business that way. Your carriers would be gone in a week. You wouldn't have anybody to haul your freight in a week.
I'm only as successful as the level of service I provide.
Yeah.
Right. And that means building relationships, and not just, here and there relationships. They've got to be strong relationships. if I had a reefer load out of Phoenix that came up right now, I've got 3 guys there I can call that can pick it up. You know.
Yeah, I get guys, we get guys, we have some other freight other than the dedicated stuff we do. And what'll happen is I have guys that'll call the office on Monday, wherever they are, uh, and they'll say, "Hey, I'm gonna have uh, I'm gonna have 2 trucks in Nashville this week, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday. What you got for me?" And we'll look around and maybe move some stuff around and do a little of this and a little of that, and we will try to come up with a load for them. Otherwise, we will call guys like that. That's who we call to haul our freight. That's who we want to haul our freight. So, that's how we do it, and that's why we stay off the load boards. I don't know what Facebook is doing to us. We are not on my main page. We're on my other page, but not my main page. And we got a bunch of people watching. We got a bunch of people here, but most of the comments are coming. Most of the comments are coming from YouTube. It's kind of weird. Anyway, Tim, tell us what you think, man. You're a broker. You're in the business. You know what's what.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this year's probably going to be pretty interesting as far as what rates do. I mean, I know a lot of the quote unquote analysts, experts, depending upon who you listen to, a lot of them are saying, we'll lose a third of our owner operators, if things don't improve by going into the second half of the year. And I really hope that that's not true. Because if I lost any of my regular carriers as a result, that even if they only haul for me part-time and they have to use another broker, it's not a very regular lane that I might have or something, that's still going to have an impact on them regardless of how well I'm trying to take care of them. If I lost them, then I've got to rebuild those relationships all over again. And then my feeling is that all these shippers that, like I mentioned earlier, that are trying to drive rates down, they're going to be crying.
They were for the last 2 years, and rates went up. Rates went through the roof, even on the spot market, because of that. And maybe that's the cycle we're in. And Tim, one of the things that I feel, one of the things that I feel bad about, I guess is the best way to put it. A lot of guys went out, because the rates were unusually high for a couple of years. A lot of guys went out and they paid. Everybody hit the like button. Thank you, Todd. Yeah, heck yeah. A lot of guys went out and bought trucks at real high prices, because trucks went up with everything. And a lot of people went out and bought trucks at high prices and trailers at high prices, thinking that with the rates doing what they were doing, and they run the numbers on it and they go, okay, I can pay for this truck, even though I paid more for it, I can pay this truck off in 2 years, and in another 9 months I can pay my trailer off, and then rates hit the bottom. Yeah. I feel bad for those guys because I don't blame them for trying to get into business. I don't blame them for trying to work with the market as it is, as it stands. I mean, that's what you got to. There's never a good time to go into business. There never is. You know what I mean?
The bullwhip effect hits us about every year and a half or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this time around for the high rates, it was like 2 years, but that's unusual, And Shaggy and I kept telling people that, we told people that every day. This ain't gonna stay the same. This is not gonna be there. Don't count on this. Go find your own customers. Stop playing the load board. Stop trying to, make it just on DAT and stop hiring dispatch services to do it for you. Learn how to do it yourself. Know your business. But if you get on Facebook right now, Tim, what you hear and what you see on Facebook is you go out, you buy a truck, you buy a trailer, you get your insurance, you file for your authority, you get your authority, you get all that, you put up all the bonds and do all that and get ready to go. You hire a dispatch service, and then they get on DAT, and then they just load you all over the place for $4 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That is incorrect.
Well, that's what
Mara said,
say.
yeah, if I still had equipment payments, I'd be in a world of hurt right about now. You and about 2 million other people. Yeah. So, I fear for those people. I was watching your show the other night, and I can't remember your partner's name that was on the show with you. And I was picking on, yeah, I kept picking on him. Going, God, man, you're all doom and gloom. What's wrong with you? Because there are guys out there. Charles Bundy, I don't know if he's still on here or not. Charles knows some guys over in East Tennessee, and they're buying brand new, great big Peterbilts, and they're hiring drivers, and they're growing. And they're doing it right now. They're not doing it playing the spot market. They are not. They are not. Charles, I'm here. They're not doing it hiring dispatch services. They're not doing it. They've got
a lot of those dispatch services don't even know what they're doing. Half of them don't know what they're doing anyway. And you can tell when you're talking to them and they're new. I mean, it's just like, it's almost like going back to day one of being a freight broker and you're making that first sales call. They know you're new.
Well, the only people that call my office more than TQL wanting freight is dispatch services wanting to run the trucks. And you say, oh, you want to run my trucks? Oh, absolutely. We can get you the best loads. And I said, well, I already know that as a dispatch service, you don't have any authority. So you can't actually go out and get a customer. You can't do that. You can get one under my authority, but not yours because you don't have one.
Right.
So tell me how you're going to get the best loads. You're going to get the best loads off DAT? Do you have some magic thing that you can do? By the way, do you even know what kind of fucking trailers I pull? Do you know anything about me?
Right.
Mara says dispatch services. That's a great punchline.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I do get it. I understand it, but they get on. These people get on social media and they think that what they see there's the way the business actually works, and it doesn't. Right. It doesn't work that way.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I actually did another survey not that long ago with my group because we get a ton of dispatch services that request to join, and I thought, well, maybe things have changed. Maybe the group wants a few of them in or something. I didn't get a single yes. It was overwhelmingly no. Keep them out.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on your page. I was one of the no's.
Were you?
Yeah. We get people. Shaggy and I have been friends for years and years, and he does his consulting in his work, and he works with dispatchers and brokers and trucking companies. He does a little bit of everything. But I have tried to, and I've got dispatch services in my group, and I know that, and I've tried for the last couple of years to get them to go ahead and get their brokerage authority because it's coming. The FMSCA is looking at it right now. FMCSA, they're looking at it right now, and the DOT is looking at it right now. And some of these dispatch services have already been sued. There's Mike. What's up, Mike?
The answer on that, like June or something, or May?
Yeah. Some of these dispatch services are already being sued. They're already being held liable. By the way, there's Mike from WM Online Trucking LLC. He's the guy that's heading up and his group. He's the guy that's heading up the boycott. And Mike, we are with you. We are absolutely with you. Yeah, they're already being sued, some of these dispatch services, and they're being held liable for a lot of the same things that brokers are being held liable for. And I don't know if you remember 3 years ago, there was a mega suit. Thank you, brother. We thank you for what you're doing. There's a mega suit uh, against one of the big brokerage houses, and there was a death. There was a fatality accident, and they held the brokerage responsible. Here's a term for you, Tim. Are you ready for this? You're gonna love this. I know you're gonna love this. A percentage of liability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means if you were a little bit bad, your ass gonna pay a little bit. Well, anytime there's a fatality, it's an automatic $1 million, automatic.
Right.
And nowadays it's going to go to 10 million. Well, C.H. Robinson got pounded for that for $20 million. They were held responsible because they didn't know that the driver didn't have the hours to haul the load, and they insisted that he do it, and he went out and killed somebody. Mara, I don't know where he is. Let me see if I can find him. He's on one of the pages. He's on G3 Truck Talking Marketing. He's on the other page. His name is Mike. And we've already, his page where he's putting down the truth and he started the boycott. The page is called Owner Operators / No Authority / New Authority. And that's on Facebook. And he's on there. You'll find him on there. And he's a good guy. He's one of us. See, I'd like to join your page, but why do you need my DOT and MC? I don't need your DOT and MC. I don't need it at all. I didn't even know that the questions on there asked for that. No, you don't need that. Shaggy saying, Kenny Long, hey Kenny, how you been? Shaggy, I think you and I ought to hunt Kenny down at Matt's and just get with Elizabeth and just take him out back and just wear his ass out. Because you know he would like that. You know he's kind of into that weird shit. Because he is. Oh, he's talking about what? He's talking to Mike. It's because we do not want dispatchers. Okay, to get on Mike's page, he might want your MC. But on my page, you don't. And I don't think you do on your page, do you, Tim?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No dispatchers.
What is your page, Tim?
Freight Brokers and Carriers Network Group.
Freight Brokers
There's
and
a couple
Carriers.
of copycats out there, but mine has like a black and blue like banner on it.
Yeah. Greenfield, what's up, brother? What's up, man? I wanted to get on here tonight and talk about that boycott. I want to talk about brokers. I want to say, I just want to say, and Mike is on here. Mike, I only speak for myself. I am a broker. And not all brokers are bad, but these big ones are trying to hurt you. And it's time for them to stop this bullshit. Just stop it. Also, people talk about broker transparency. And I'm going to hit on that. The law is already on the books, guys. It's already there. Okay? The law is on the books for broker transparency. It's been there for years. Here's what happens. 99.9% of the brokers out there will put a clause either in their broker carrier contract or on their rate confirmation that says that if you check the little box, you agree to all the terms and conditions. Not me, Frank, that Facebook page. Oh, okay. Okay. You agree to the terms and conditions, and then when you go, people don't even look. to see what the terms and conditions are. They just check the box and keep going. Okay? One of those terms and conditions is you waive your right to see the build rates. Okay? You waive your right. Guys, I'm going to tell you, if you waive your right to see those rates, I'm just going to tell you. And if you get mad, you get mad. If you waive your right, shut the fuck up. It's on you. Don't do it. That's just like, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. If you see a rate confirmation or a carrier contract with a broker and the word is anywhere on that contract that says offset, scratch through it and send it back or tell them fuck off. What you're agreeing for them to do is, without your permission forward, deduct anything they want to from the rate, like if they file a $300 claim, or if they say you were half hour late, or if they say you were a half hour early, whatever, and they charge you $150 for this or $150. If it says the word offset, you have agreed to let them subtract that when they pay you. Number one, unless you agree to it, it's illegal for a broker or a shipper to do that. It's illegal. Part 134 of CFR, the code, is said, Mario, I'll be at Matt's too. I'll see you there. I'll see you up there. Says that if you have a claim, if you have a shortage, if you have, anything, detention, any of that stuff, you have to pay the freight rate and pursue that claim separately. But if you sign that thing, if you sign that thing saying that you allow them to do that, it's on you. By law, you cannot waive your rights to see that information, and that's why I've started the petition. Actually, I disagree. Yes, you can. My oldest son's my lawyer. I paid for his law school, so he still owes me money. So I get all my legal shit done for nothing. You can waive your rights to anything. You can waive your rights to your children. You can waive your rights to your home. Tiger Woods fixing to give his house to his ex-girlfriend because she wants it real bad. And they did sign a contract, but she's going to get it. The hundreds of agents, sub-agents, sub-sub-agents are a real problem with the mega brokers. Sure, everybody takes a piece of the pie, and the truck winds up with 30 or 40% of the actual rate. I'll tell you another thing that Tim and I talked about today. Fuel surcharge. Fuel surcharge, okay? Fuel surcharge and your freight rate are two different things. They are two different things. Two different things. If you don't believe me, go back in time, go back in the annals of time and history and check out the lawsuit against Sunflower Transportation, several years ago, where the owner-operators got together and sued Sunflower because they were keeping all the fuel surcharge. And they won that lawsuit. They won. And Sunflower had to cough up, I don't know what it was. It was like $18-20 million that they owed their owner-operators. And they had to pay them. But if you scratch it out and they take the load back, you dodged a bullet. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. Scratch it out. Keep a copy. Or put it in an email so you have a record of it and say, I absolutely do not forego my rights to any of this. Any of it. So I knew that'd make some people mad, and that's okay. I don't mind. If you give up your rights, then it's on you. If you haul a load for a 73 cent a mile, it's on you. Stop doing it. And for TQL to push it in that direction, that's on them. And Michael's here, and he's on the page, and he's talking right now, and he's doing something about it. For the first time in, 2 years, somebody's finally doing something about it, and I admire that. I do. But don't give them, who mad? I don't know who mad. You guys know me pretty well by now. Don't give anybody any opportunity to take away your rights. Let me tell you something about TQL. If you have a claim on a load, let's say you got 20 trucks and you do 2 or 3 loads a day for them, okay? If you have a claim on one of those loads, TQL will haul all of your revenue from all of your other loads until you pay that claim. Number one, that's illegal. That is illegal for, like I said before, by law, they're supposed to pay you for that load and then settle the claim later. But they don't do that. They hold all your other loads. You know why they do that? Because they can. Because they've got a room full of lawyers and you don't. And they know that. And they know that you're going to pay that claim because if they hold all your other revenue, it'll put you out of business. And they know that. So they go ahead and break that law and take the risk. And if you sue them for it, you're one person out of a million that will actually do that. Michael says they are doing that to me now. Many come into this business, Todd Allen, many come into this business don't have the education. People need to educate themselves. Carmack and the U.S. Code, for example, and how contracts work. I couldn't agree more, brother. Couldn't agree more. Facebook user says, just file on their bond. I got a better idea. And Michael says, that's why we're not trying to hurt them. We're trying to close their doors. Go for it. I'll support you. All I can. File on their bond. I got a better idea. Here you go. You ready? This is strictly legal too. Bill the customer. Bill the shipper. As soon as you hit 30 days, if the broker doesn't pay you, get on your little computer and type up a bill and send it to the shipper, because by law, that shipper is responsible for that rate. That shipper is responsible for that fee. Deb Dingo. Damn, babe. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I can't see names on this fucking thing, Deb. You gotta forgive me. And I know you will. Because I'll be at Matt's and I know you'll whip my ass if I don't. Anyway. Bill the shipper because they have to pay you. Two things will happen immediately. When that shipper gets that bill, the first thing that shipper's going to do is call that broker and go, hey, asshole, how come you're not paying your freight bills?
Right.
That's the first thing they're going to do. Well, they had a claim. Bitch, pay that bill because they're billing me now, and if they bill me, I'm going to cut your ass off. Two things just happened. Deb Dingo can tell you about this. Two things just happened. Number one, you got 100% of that broker's attention, and I don't care how big they are. I don't care if they're CH, I don't care if they're TQL, XPO, I don't give a shit who they are. You just got 100% of their attention. Two, you just got an invitation to get your own customer, didn't you? Didn't you? Hey, instead of using these brokers that don't pay their bills, how about giving me some freight? Deb Dingo did that. She walked in the front door and said, who's in charge? And this woman raised her hand. She said, I am. And now they offer her freight every day. I called Tim earlier, and I confessed. I said, I like to talk. I talk all the time. And I talked the whole time we were talking. I invited him on the show, and I hadn't let him talk for shit. So, Tim,
that's all right.
Jump in there.
So, by all means, and normally I'm a little bit more chatty too, but after yesterday's events, I'm just...
You guys should know,
really.
Tim went in a house. His neighbor's house caught on fire. And she came down there beating on his door. And he went in there trying to find... Tim, you tell the story.
Well, it was, the neighbor came running over that her house was on fire, and so me and another guy ran in, and inevitably, kind of long story short, we got the fire out before the fire department got there. But I did ingest quite a bit of smoke and stuff, so it's just been kind of, I don't know.
You feeling better now?
I mean, I'm feeling better than I was this morning, but it's still a little, I imagine
there.
Next day or two I'll be tip-top again. Just takes time. So.
Guys, I want you to be real careful. I want you to be real careful. And number one, don't give these people any excuse or any way or any method of stealing your freight. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You know, where it says, you know, you give up your right to know their rates, don't agree to that. Mark through it and sign your name that you marked through it. Where it says that and they'll make it look real official, okay? Where it says that they retain the right to offset, you know, mark through that shit. That's illegal unless you sign your rights away. It's illegal for them to do that. It's illegal. I'll tell you what we need in this business. We need 2 or 3 lawyers hanging around to call these people up, you know, so that these carriers, these small carriers and these truckers can call these lawyers and say, hey, I'm getting screwed by TQL. What do I do? Did you sign your rights away? No, I did not. Send it to me. I'll take care of it.
You mentioned earlier about. Sorry, go ahead.
They'll get your money back, and they'll tag their ass for a lawyer's fee and everything else. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I've got a buddy of mine that lives down in Texas. He did a load of produce for this other broker. I don't know, it was not overly recent, but he got it clean bills back on it and everything. And 30 days came around, didn't get paid. So he got a hold of him, told him that there was a claim, there was damage. And nothing had been noted on there, subject to count. Nothing was, you know, he said everything was perfect, you know. He did inevitably file on their bond, and it was rejected. But I don't know, they ended up screwing him out of like $1,200 or something. But I said, well, what does your contract say? And this was kind of an ongoing thing with him, right? It's like he would call me and, you know, say, well, they're not paying me detention, they're not paying me layover, they're not paying me for this, they're not paying me. What does your contract say? What does your confirmation say? Well, I don't know.
Somebody just put in there, nobody even reads BCAs. They don't.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a business, okay?
So I told him, I said, you've got to pay attention and read those.
You've got to.
You know?
You've got to.
It's a no-brainer.
Michael, if I'd known you were going to be around, brother, you'd be right on here with me and Tim. I didn't know. I did send you a message, though. I did, and say if you wanted to be on here, let me know. And you can be on here anytime you want to. You and I'll go live. I'll take you live anytime you want to. And right now we're talking to 61 people, and that'll spread out. Shaggy shared it all over the place. And Charles Bundy shared it out all over the place. So we're talking to a lot of people right now that we can't even see. A lot of people. Okay? And guys out there, if you're not already in Michael's group, you should join Michael's group. And yeah, I was on the phone all day. Yeah, I bet you were. That's what happens when you stir up a bunch of shit, Mike. People start calling you, don't they? I love it. I love that. Guys, don't give these brokers... I'm a broker, okay? Tim is a broker, and we're sitting here telling you, okay? Don't give these big box brokers a chance to screw you. Read the fine print in the contracts. Read the fine print on your rate confirmation sheets, because on most of them, it'll say this rate confirmation sheet supersedes any previous agreements signed to or agreed to by the carrier and the broker. That means that any contract you had with them prior to that is now gone. That's what it means. Get it? Get it? Don't do it. Don't do it. Pay attention. These guys are loading. They're loading up on you. That's what they do. They're really good at taking your money and keeping it. That's
well,
what
they're preying on the fact that you don't know.
Yes.
Didn't pay attention.
Yes. Yeah, they depend on the fact that number one, you don't know, just like Tim said, and number two, you don't have the time or the resources or the money to fight back. That's what they're counting on. That's what they're counting on. Ivan, we got some infiltrators. Just kidding. Ivan, stop it, man. Hold on, I'm going to see where Ivan at. I don't know where. He's on one of these other pages somewhere. Everybody shared it out now. I don't know who's where. Everybody's everywhere.
I agree with whoever said best idea, go find a few small manufacturers and work directly with them. I've told owner operators to say, oh, companies won't work with me directly. They won't work with me directly. Go find smaller shippers. They still ship on a regular basis, and they're more apt to work with you directly, versus maybe someplace like Kellogg's or, General Motors or General Mills or Ford or something,
Don't listen. That was me again, Deb. Don't listen to people. Okay, here Tim and I are on Facebook. We're on social media telling you what to think and what not to think. So, having said that, don't listen to these assholes on social media telling you what to do and what not to do. Most of them don't have a fucking clue about it. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. People that are in the business of a dispatch service, why aren't they a broker? Why aren't they a freight forwarder? Why don't they go out and get a license and go into business like I did, like Tim does? Why don't they do that? Better yet, why don't they open up a fucking pizza joint and do the world a favor?
Yep.
I just went and introduced myself to a local one. I was leased on to someone. I'm going to bug them again next month. Most people don't get a customer on the first try, do they, Tim?
Nope. It's a numbers game.
Yeah. You almost never sign up a customer on the first try. Almost never.
Yeah.
Almost never. You got to keep going.
Follow-up is key. If you let too much time escape between that initial call and your follow-up, they'll forget all about you.
Yeah. Now, who is Tim? Tim's a friend of mine. He's also a broker. He's also a podcaster like I am. I just wanted him on here for backup because I figured I was going to piss you off and everybody off, and misery loves company. Sorry about that. Anyway, Tim's a broker. He's up in Michigan. He's been in the business. He knows the business. He's not stupid. He and I have been talking, and we agree on pretty much everything we talked about. So that's a good thing. That's unusual, but a good thing. What Deb Dingo did was she got tired of getting jerked around by some broker, and she walked up into the customer. Now, here's my take. Take it for what it's worth. Like I said, I only speak for me, okay? And I don't speak for other people. I get up in the mornings, and before Frank threw me out of the office, very methodically and unceremoniously, before he kicked me out in the street like a bum, I used to get up in the morning and go to the office and flip on my computer, and there would be 200 emails there. And most of, all but like maybe 8 of them, I didn't know who they were. I never saw them before. So I would sit at my computer while I was drinking my coffee and smoking my morning cigarette and delete them all. All of them, every one of them. Because you don't know, you know what they tell you now. You open up an email, you don't know who it's from. You might get a terrible virus on your computer, and then you're a fuck chicken, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I delete. So all you guys out there trying to get customers that are sending emails, keep that in mind. If you send one to Uncle Frank, I will delete your shit because I don't know who you are. I will delete it. Shippers are doing the same thing. They delete the emails. If you call people on the phone, call them. There's 150 other people that are doing the same thing. And on my phone, you can ask Shaggy and Mara and the people that are on here that have known me for a long time. If I don't know you, I won't answer the phone. Fuck, I don't even answer it half the time when I do know who you are. I don't answer the call. If you can get in the car and you can go to that customer, if you can do that and be face to face, okay? Be face to face, you become a person. You become a real live human being. Don't make a million phone calls. Join a local chamber of commerce and meet your local manufacturers face to face. Hand out your business cards. That's why I walked in and introduced myself and handed them my business card. And it worked, didn't it, Deb? It worked. It worked. The woman said, where do you live? Deb said, I live 8 miles up the street or 10 miles or whatever. And she said, you shitting me? She goes, no, I'm not shitting you. And now they call her every day and give her loads. They don't even ask her what the rate is. They don't even care.
Another good thing is I actually have a friend of mine lives further downstate. He runs these business group meetings, and I forget exactly what they're called, but it's basically like owners of, say, like a carpet store. Another member might be construction. Another might be a banker, etc. And what they do is they network. So like maybe there'll be a real estate agent and they sell a home and they're talking to the new homeowner and they say, yeah, like this, but we're probably going to change out the carpet. Hey, I know a guy, and
Yeah.
hand them off their card. I think the same thing could apply with shipping. There's probably some shippers we don't even realize that they're doing, some shipping. Figure out
You know people.
LTL stuff.
You know people. You just don't know you know them. You go to church with them, or your kid plays soccer with them, or whatever. I wear my shirts. I just happen to have on one of my son's shirts tonight, but I wear my shirts, and I go to the grocery store or to the pharmacy, and people ask me. I wear this weird pirate's hat, and they ask me if I'm a pirate. I go, no, I'm a freight broker. You got any freight?
Yeah, networking is key.
It's the key. You already know these people. You just don't know you know them. You just don't know you know them. Isn't it illegal to double broker? Yet these big timers still do it. How come?
Is it actual double brokering or is it co-brokering?
I mean, there's such a thing as co-brokering, and it is legal. Okay, that's when most of the brokers that do it will actually sign an agreement with the other broker, and they agree to let them broker their freight. Most of the time, when that happens, both of the brokers keep their percentage or part of it. So if that happens, if somebody co-brokers a load of freight, TQ, we already talked about this earlier. You were late. Try to have your ass here on time if you would. Anyway, TQL calls my office and Landstar calls Tim's office all the time, and they ask us if they can broker our freight for. We got 82 million carriers. I can move that freight, and I'll tell you something else. You can keep your rate. In other words, they're willing to cut that son of a bitch some more and cut that truck right out of it and broker my loads for me. I don't need their help. I don't want their help. But Ivan, to answer your question, it is legal. What you're thinking about with double brokering is that's when a carrier or somebody pretending to be a carrier calls me or they call Tim and they book a load. They say, hey, I'm with XYZ Carriers. I'm going to book this load. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to haul it, blah, blah, blah. So you give them that load, and then they turn around and broker it out. That is illegal, but it's really hard to catch people doing it. Really hard.
Well, and they oftentimes don't pay the carrier who's actually picking up the load either.
Exactly. So you're going to pay the bill anyway. You're going to lose your ass. Because most of the time when they do that, like if you got a load for $1,000, they'll take it from you. They'll take the rate confirmation. Then they'll get on DAT or Truck Stop and they'll broker that load out for $2,000 because they're not going to pay it anyway.
They're probably going to ask for a fuel advance or something as well.
Fraud.
That's why we
happens every day.
quit giving them.
Yes, Convoy Brokers USA Freight and takes their cut from it. Absolutely, they do. They do. But Tim doesn't do that, and I don't do that. So it's not all of us that are bad people. It's not all of us that are trying to steal from you. I, if I lost my carriers, I'd be out of business.
Yep.
TQL don't care. They don't care. They're in the numbers game. Numbers game. If you don't haul it for 87 cents, the next guy will. And that's what's happening right now. Somebody is hauling that freight. Somebody is picking that cheap shit up and delivering it. Somebody's doing it. That's your enemy. That's who your enemy is. Are you going to stop it at the broker level? Maybe. Maybe some of it you can. Are you going to stop it there? Probably not. But you can make the rates come back up just like you did when freight was hot and heavy before. That was supply and demand. That was truck drivers getting on there going, I'm not going to move my truck for less than $3 a mile. Mike's back on there. Call them scabs. That's right, Mike. Scabs. Scabs. And they do it. They do it. Then they get on social media and blame you for it. Well, it ain't my fault if it costs you $3 to run your truck. I got $5 a mile going down there, so I can haul it back for 90 cents and I still make money. That guy's your enemy. That's a guy that doesn't give a shit if he hurts the industry or not. He's just as bad as TQL and all these other big box brokers that are trying to fuck your brains out. Just as bad. Or worse. In my book. Have some integrity. Maybe Tim and I ought to start a club because you can't be a company or you get sued. And we'll do rates for you. And we'll get on social media every Tuesday night and we'll post all our rates for you. We'll go, okay, guys, these are the rates. Now we could do that. He and I could do that. We know enough about the business that we could do that. But you know what would happen? There's that asshole that's hauling freight right now for 80 cents a mile. He'd cut those rates too. So there's really no point, is there? It'd be wasted effort on our part to do that. Anyway, I don't know what all the answers are. I thank Mike. Does Convoy co-broker USA's freight, or do they allow USA access to their platform for a fee? My guess is that they're co-brokering, and as far as access to a platform goes, probably. I'm guessing. I don't know. That would be my guess. You can get the same load directly from USA and more than you can get it from Convoy. Of course you can. Well, they don't have to split the commissions. Well, listen, guys, it's been an hour. We've been on here. Tim, thank you, man. I'm sorry I didn't let you talk.
No, you're it's fine. Like I said, I normally am a lot more chatty, but
well, I'm used to doing these shows with Shaggy, and he doesn't let me talk. Like we were doing a show about 5 months ago, and honest to God, this is the truth. This is the truth. He kept talking for so long that I actually fell asleep. I did. I felt soundless. I pulled my hat down. I was like, I was asleep. And he goes, "Are you there? Are you there?" Woke me back up.
Shaggy's always on.
Oh,
always.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's been on here. Mike says, I got to go. My wife is telling me to get the hell out of the office. Good for her, brother. Good for her. Thank you for what you're doing, Mike. We appreciate you. Thank everybody else for being on here with us. Shaggy don't let you get a word in. You know, shit. He don't. He don't. But listen, we're going to be back. I hope Tim and I can do some more shows together. I hope we can do more together and get together and talk about this stuff. I appreciate everybody being here. And I'm going to tell you what I tell you at the end of every one of my shows, okay? Thank you for your support. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to tell you, take care of each other. Take good care of each other. The government's not going to help you. They're not your friend. I don't care if you hope you make it to Matt's finally meet you. I'm going to be at Matt's. I'll be the fat guy with real long hair, gray hair. The government is not the cavalry that's going to come over the hill and save you. They never have. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or an independent. They don't give a fuck. They give a fuck about themselves.
Unless you're a bank going under right now.
Yeah, if you're a bank, good luck with that. What was that thing you posted? I thought that was funny as shit. I just got over being a train derailment expert, and now I got to learn about my bank defaulting.
Yeah, I still have my train derailment decorations up. I didn't realize it was bank bailout season already.
Yeah. The government's not your friend. Take good care of each other. Look out for each other. That's old school shit, guys. That's trucking shit. That's what we do. You wonder where the old school guys went, where the brotherhood went, where the loyalty went? It's right here. We just have to keep it going. Look out for each other. Take good care of each other. Spend a minute or two this week taking care of somebody, helping somebody else, and they will help you. That's why me and Tim are on here. People helped us. People helped us. Okay? We don't have anything to sell. We're not here trying to separate you from your money. We're not doing that. We're trying to help out. All right?
But for $39.95, I will sell you the secrets to success. I'm just kidding.
Hey, okay. Charles,
welcome.
they don't care about you, just your money. I will tell you one other offer that me and Tim have. If you will send us each, all of you that are on here, there's a bunch of people on here right now. If you will send us each $20, we will come on here next week and tell you how not to get fucked on the internet. Just mail it on in. Anyway, thank you, Tim. Thank you, all you
Yes,
guys,
sir.
for coming.
Thank you.
It's been an hour. We'll do it again. We'll do it again real soon. Man, I love you guys. Take good care of each other. And everybody, have a great week and go make some money and do not all that cheap ass shit.